So now what? I've got two workspaces here, and how am I going to put these in? And this is where some of the fun starts to begin, the challenge with these cuboids. And this is the technique that I use to solve this. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my layers and see what's already here. Well, this happened to already be solved, so that's okay. What I want to do is I want to protect this. So how am I going to do this? Well, with this layer, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this out of my workspace into here. So I'm going to put a red one over here. Now you might say, well, and just so you know too, let's say it looked like this, and I'd say, okay, I can move these in here. I just make the choice to move that in here like that. Simple stuff. So I'm going to replace this with a red one over here, to which case you might say, well, wait a minute, you're going to have a red one in your workspace. Well, don't worry, I have a plan for that. So I'm going to place this on the red side here, double turn it, move the red one in here. Okay, so now this is here and this is protected. So I'm going to try to get another one in, the reciprocal in, maybe a green one or another blue one of that side as well. Now you may ask, well, how are you going to do that and not destroy the red? Well, the way that I'm going to do that is I'm going to put another red one on the reciprocal layer of this side, which means every time I make a move, the reds are going to be just fine. So I'm going to put another red layer down here. So to do that, I'm just going to double turn. I guess it doesn't really matter. Put a red one here. Double turn. And move this back. So let's take a look at what this organization is. This is here protected. I got one red one here, one red one here. So whatever moves I make at this point, whatever two R's I make, I'll always have red ones in place. So that way I can isolate different layers and continue to move things into the next workspace. So because I have that, I can work on whatever layer I want at this point. So what else can we easily put in? Well, there's a green here. I just need the one green. Where's that one green? It's over here. So what I'm going to do, turning it over here, is double turn this here. Bang. Bang. I now have a green side, and I did not affect my red side here. So next step, you guessed it, move it out of the workspace and then replace it with something else. So now it becomes pretty simple. I want to finish up these two layers over here. Because I've got a green side and a blue side, the remaining green and blue layer of these middle areas here are going to be reciprocal. So I see this, blue, green, 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 blue, and over here, green, blue, 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 green. So what that means, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to move them into my workspace, which is over here, and solve it that way. So basically I want this to move into here and this to move into here. I want them to be replaced. So I'm going to go double turn this over here, and I'm going to move this into here, batting this out of the way for the time being. Then I'm going to double turn it, which now bats this back here and puts this back into over here. So it's that same thing. And what that did is I've got red over here, red up here, and I've got my complementary layers over here. So now all I've got to do is turn this like so, and turn this like so. Okay, so good and good. And these things are all fine. Okay, now notice I'm kind of messing these up a little bit, but they're still very consistent with how they are, and I can easily move them back in, and I'll show you how to do that. But now I have all of my middle layers. So to cut down on confusion, I'm going to start moving these colors back, because now I can use the colors of these sides. So green is over here. I'll just put the green over here so that they can be reciprocal and they'll never get messed up. So this needs to come into here, which means I'm going to move this into here, double turn, and bat that back in over here. And double turn like so. I'm going to do the same thing, but put the blue in over here. So, double turn, bang, bang, and splat. So, what is the wisdom of doing that? Well, the wisdom of doing that is I've got blue here, to be reciprocated by this blue here, green here, green up here. So now I'm just going to put these back in, and notice I'm not going to do anything to the sides that I put in. It's just fine. Now it's at this point that I may want to specify what is supposed to be at top and what's supposed to be on the bottom. So if this is, I'm going to say that this is the yellow side, here's a yellow corner, this is the orange corner, which means green is supposed to be here. So I have to make note that this is actually my green side. If I forget that, that's fine, it's going to be easy to replace. Now that I've got these two, I just have to get these two centers. And you can see it's already kind of working with me over there. So what I'm going to do is, I've got the blue here, it'll come up to over here. So, double turn, and there it is. This is all in, this is all in, and this is not all in, but don't worry about it. I've actually fixed two sides here. Because I've done that, what I have to do is once again move them out of the workspace and replace them with these. So these two are going to be reciprocals of each other, as you can see. These two just have to flip-flop. Well, I'm going to do something quite easy with this. I want to protect this blue, but this blue does not have a reciprocal blue on the bottom. So what I have to do is I have to put another color in there, and I'll do red again. So take the blue out. Double turn it and put the red one in. Okay, so this is now protected. I've got the red one here. Now likewise I got to put the red one over here. So to do that, I'm just gonna double turn, red one goes in, double turn, and this one comes out. Okay, so these are all fine. Now what I need to do is I need to move what I need to move in into the workspace. I've already got this one over here. I just need to move this one down over here. So bump that in, or you can just look at it as I'm protecting that one there. Double turn, move it out. Again, apply this to the cuboid of your choice. Alright, now that I have that there, this is set up to where all these are protected. Red is complementing red, green, green, blue, blue. And all I gotta do is just go like 1, 2, 1, 2, and there you have it. Everything is in. Now for me to get this over here, and I was keeping this orange, keeping this yellow rather, if I want to do that, if I want to move this back, I need to make sure that everything is complementary. And it's not. This and this is, this and this is, this and this is, but these two are not. So what I need to do is either move a green one to here or a blue one to here. Let's move a green one to here. So I'm going to put this in, double turn, and move this back. Okay, so now everything is complementary on these sides, so I have complete freedom to put whatever I want, do whatever 2 R's or whatever over here. So I'm going to go like that. Notice I have not changed anything here because I've kept them complementary, and now I have this over here. Now that I have that, let's take a look at what's supposed to be where. This wasn't touched, so this is orange, and because I've got the yellow here, I know this is supposed to be the green side. So I'm just going to start putting greens in. I might as well put the red ones in here too. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Again, this is based on that same concept of putting in and replacement. That was not the right thing to do, but it got the red one in here. So this will bump this out of the way. Double turn and move it back. Okay, one more green to go. Now, so I don't get tripped up, I just remember wherever this goes, this is going to kind of bump out on the same level. So this green is going to go over here. Sorry about that. 1, 2, 1, 2. Double turn. I can't tell you how tough it was to make these middle movements before. Now it's pretty seamless. Okay, so green is over here, yellow's over here, red's got to be here. Well, that's not a problem. Move this here, double turn, move it back. Same thing here, move it in, double turn, and move it back. Okay, so is it internally consistent? Let's see. Yep, and this corner is my guide. Blue, yellow, and red. So we have our centers. We finished our centers with this modification into the cuboid strategy. And again, there's no tricks with this one. This is actually very straightforward, unlike a future one I'm going to show you. One that I've actually already shown you, if you can think of the one that I mean. So the next step is we put in our edges. After center placement, it's edge pairing. So how do we do that? Well, we're going to pattern it almost exactly the same way as what we did. And it's the same thing. I'm going to have a workspace, and then I'm going to have a place where I throw everything out of the field of action. So first, let's look for edges that are already in place. And I generally do the yellow ones first. I don't know why. I always start off with yellow and green for some reason. But in any case, here's the red and yellow. Let's start looking for other red and yellows here that I can use. There's one over here. And I'm just going to start building things in there. I'm just going to start building my red, and yellow edge. So this comes into here. And now what else? Any other reds? Oh, there's this. There's one over here. I thought there was a bunch, but there's just one. There's this one over here. So if I want to move this here without disrupting this, I'm just going to do the moving in and replacement strategy. So move this in, double turn, move it back. So there it is over here. So now I'm just going to double turn it, moves that in, and let's just find other reds. Now I have to remember at this point, yellow is on top. Yellow is on top. Any other reds? Nope. Right over here. So same thing. Turn it in, double turn, and move it back. And now we're free to move this guy in. And then there were four. One more. Where's my last one? Right over here. So this can move in, and even though it's not attached to this, I still have to do the same technique. And I want this to be on the bottom, so I could just double turn it here, like this, move it back, and double turn. So now my remaining red is perfectly fine to come in to here. So I have my red yellow edge. Now notice that some of these things got a little skewed, a little messed up, but that's fine. We can put them back in. So I'm going to go turn, double turn, and turn it back. Okay? And now let's just go ahead and get our sides back here. And double turn. Now notice this one kind of got lost in the fray, but that's okay. If you wanted to move these back in without messing up the center here, then the technique that I'm going to do is, I did one turn here, but I didn't do a turn over here. So green, we'll bump the green out over out of the way over here. So double turn that here. And now double turn here and move it back. Okay, no biggie, no harm done. All right, so red is over here. So what else is in my workspace that I can use? And I'm going to stick with the yellow sides. Well, here's two greens, so why don't we start working on greens? So what are some greens that I could use? Well, I got a green over here, so why don't I just double turn it on the other side? And now I'm going to move green and yellows. Move this here like so. Now, I move the center yellow, so I have to be very careful to remember that. What else now? Looks like they're all on this side here, and one on this side. So we'll go ahead and put it in and replace it. So turn, turn, and turn. And now this will come in. 1, 2, 1, 2. And now one more. Where would I find that? Right over here. So what I'm going to do is move this out of the way over here. So I can go turn, 1, 2, and turn it back. Alright, that way I can maintain the proper orientation. And turn this in. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so now I've got my other edge over here, other green edge. So I'm going to move this out of the workspace, maybe join it to the red one over here, which means I've got to double turn this here, bump this red out of the way, turn, and bring it back. Alright, so these are out of the way, remembering that this was the yellow side, so let's move it all back in. Okay, so what else we got? Well, here's the yellow, the orange rather, so let's go ahead and move those into place. Turn it upside down here, just so I can put this up. And this will come over here, turn, turn. Not too bad. Now I've got this one that has to go. I'm going to turn this down here. 1, 2. Turn it back. 1, 2. Okay, didn't exactly plan that out correctly, but that's okay. Move this here. Now remember, this is white that was on top now because I turned it upside down. So this is over here. And the last one, this guy. So let's turn this one in. Turn, turn, turn. And now this one will come into here. Turn, turn. Okay, there you have it. Now I can't move this into this side out of this workspace because you've got two yellows here, so I'll just move it over here. Turn, double turn, and bring it back. And now let's go ahead and move our sides back in here. Remember, this was the white side on top, so I'm going to move this here, here, and here, and here. Okay, just so that we don't get too confused, let's fix this area over here. Is this supposed to be purple? Well, yes, this is supposed to be purple. So I need to move this purple one in, which means all I have to do is exchange. I'm going to make an even exchange. Put this in, which bumped that purple out of the way, allowing me to double turn this and move it back. Okay, so that's where it needs to be. So now I just have one more yellow edge to go. This shouldn't be too hard to find. Most of them are already going to be populated here. So let's double turn this down here. And now this will come into here. And that's the only one that I have to do. So turn, turn. So now we have one more to go. Turn, 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 and move this back. Okay, now we have one more to go, which is the purple one. These workspaces are filled. Alright, we'll just put things in. Double turn this here, double turn this here, find the other purple, which is just across over here. So, for the sake of ease, move this here. Turn, turn. And I'll move this out of the way. Turn, 2, and turn. Okay? And then we'll just turn these back over here. Boom, and bang. Alright, so now we want to get these back here. If this is truly the white side, or the yellow side. This should be blue. So we're going to go ahead and get that back in. Double turn. Double turn. And double turn. Okay, is all right with the world? Yeah. So basically what we have is, in addition, we have 4 of our edges. So I'm just going to move them into where they're supposed to be. Get my cross. So I've got this over here. This will be moved into the green side here. This has to go to the blue side, which means this has to come here to the orange. And then from here this goes to blue, and this gets transferred here. So we have basically our first center and edges that have been paired. So what about edge pairing? Now, true edge pairing means all these and all of these, but this is the last of the edge pairing that we're going to do by this mechanism, and then these are going to be all done by cuboid strategies.